The council chamber of Helix Station was built to intimidate. A ring of blackstone seats rose. The cliffs around a central dais, each carved with the symbols of old empire stare, shimmered with translation fields and muted gravity layers so even giants could sit beside insects without crushing them. Today, the chamber felt colder than vacuum. Kararan stepped onto the dais, and the lights caught the soft fur around his throat. Looked young for a delegate, but that was only because his people did not age the way others did. Cathari were born hunters, lean-bodied and sharp-eyed. Their culture, shaped by pursuit and patience. Sethi had once tracked prey through blue forests under twin moons. They had once been fired, but Karin's hands shook when he lifted them to the speaking Marnot, from fear of the council, from something inside his nerves that refused to obey. Parasite had a name in a dozen languages, but the Cathari called it the Hushit. Did not kill quickly, it ate the pathways that made instinct possible, took the rush of the chase and replaced it. Status it left claws intact and teeth sharp, but it stole the certainty that guided them. Predators without the hunt were statues that breathed. Karen's ears flattened as he faced the circle. Round him sat the jagged-shelled Draven, whose elders spoke in cracking, stone-toned silken mineweavers of Oryx, who shared thoughts like water. Tall navigators of the Severin, whose eyes never blinked. In humans, newest among them, seated in a modest row that looked almost temporary compared to the ancient throne's case. Orion swallow it, then he spoke. Eth Cathari, request an ending. Translation field carried his words with clinical clarity. A ripple moved through the chamber. Some shifted in discomfort, some leaned forward with interest. Kr continued voice. Then our hunting lines have fallen. Our young cannot learn. Our elders cannot teach. Hush has spread into our colonies, into our ships, into our ships, into our breeding. Vulture paused, forcing breath. Cannot fulfill our role in the galactic accords. We cannot patrol, we cannot track, we cannot protect trade lanes, we cannot do the only thing we have ever been valued for. Is claws flexed, useless. Lie submit. A petition for dignified closure. The word landed heavy. Dignified closure was the polite phrase the galaxy used when it meant extinction with paperwork, to disappear neatly then rot. Slowly Aaron lowered his, Kazehi did not want to see the Picha. Draven magistrate clicked his mandibles. Petition acknowledged. The council will consider resource costs and risk. Continmenta Mindweaver voice flowed into the air like mist. Precedent exists. A species may choose its own end when its contribution becomes negative. Ethi. Severin Navigator tilted his head. Hush is also a threat vector. Closure reduces spread. Keran closed his eyes. It was happening. It was going to be quiet. It was going to be Finalthon. A chair. Scropata sounds so small it should not have mattered, but the entire chamber heard. A human delegate. Studer name was Anya Halei. She was not large. She wore no armor, no ceremonial blades, no psionic crown, just a plain jacket, a simple council insignia, and eyes that did not look away. When the room tried to swallow her, no Anya Sidon's syllable. The translation field did not soften. If Draven magistrate's voice sharpened. Human delegate, you are out of turning on. Why did not Sitch lifted her chinny object to this petitioneth chamber. Murmured again, louder this time. Orion's ears twitched. Did not understand humans. Had no reason to care. Humans had arrived in the council by brute persistence and inconvenient miracles, not by ancient treaty. Esthi were still considered fragile. New temporary Ya's voice. Karyadu are about to erase an entire people because they lost a single ability. Severin Navigator spoke calm and distant. It is not a single ability. It is their identity. Kararian's throat tightened. Ned found himself speaking though he had not planned. Toit is everything he said. His voice cracked, and the chamber heard it. Our hunters. Our songs are hunts, our prayers are hunts, our families bond through the chase who teach, our cubs to track before we teach them. To speak swallowed hard. No, our cubs stare at their own paws like strangers. Last word tasted like Ashwa. Are useless. Corinne said, and the truth in it hurt more than any counsel. Decreen Waya stepped down from the human row. Her footsteps echoed as she crossed the center floor, moving toward Corinne as if the entire council were not watching. Stopped close enough that Corinne could see the faint scars on her hands. Kind of scars that said she had broken things and kept going. She looked Up at Himwo taught you that you only matter when you're useful to other people. Question hit harder than an insult. Kr. Arian's ears flickered. Had no answer because the galaxy had, because history had, because the Cathari themselves had every time. They praised a hunter and ignored a thinker, so the whole chamber could hear humans used to be prey, she said. Mindweaver stirred curious, Draven magistrate clicked in dispelii. Possible, someone muttered a lie. She expected that in our world. We were not the fastest, not the strongest, not the best equipped we. Had no claws worth praising, no fangs that could win a contestie, lifted her hand palm outwards, survived anyway. Corion's golden eyes. Alawudo Anyez. Smile was small, change a hush fell even. The parasite's name seemed to echo in the silence, and why. Continue with Dumans lost things again and again. We lost lands, we lost cities, we lost millions, lost limbs, we lost Sensesh, pointed to her own earsome. Lost hearing, some lost sight, some lost the ability to walk, and every time we had a choice, looked at Corinne directly. Could call it the ender, we could build a different future with the parts we still hadda. Mindweaver voice drifted forward. Are inspiring human, but they do not replace functioning. Waya lifted a finger thin. Let's talk functioning. Tapped her wrist pad and a hologram appeared over the daysnat, a weapon, not a fleet. Formation. A simple image of a canine on Earth, old and gentle. This Anya said was once a predatorsh, flicked the image and it changed to a wolfleen, and fierce humans took a hunter and reshaped its purpose through trust and training. Karian. Ears Roseo made it dependent. Tanwai's gaze sharpened into her. Tone cut through the chamber like a blade. Made it partner. Osh swiped again, and the hologram became a sequence. Dogs finding missing. Children dogs guarding homes, dogs detecting illness, dogs calming the panic out, did not stop being powerful. Anya. Sadit became powerful in a new direction. Quran Steridus's mind, predator trained, tried to reject the comparison, but the pattern was there. Change did not equal weakness. Sayanawaye's hologram shifted against this. Time it showed starlane maps, security networks, and threat probability graphs. Cathari minds are built to hunt patterns. Onwaya Sadu tracked. Prey through brush and shadow. You read footprints, heartbeats, wind direction. You notice what others misedge. Pointed to the data streams. You can hunt crime. You can hunt sabotage. You can hunt trafficking rings across Kamnetska. Ryan's breath caught. Cannot fight, he whispered in. Why I stepped closer. Fighting isn't only cloche. Tapped the hologram, and it displayed an intercepted smuggling route with a highlighted choke point. This is a hunch. Looked at the council. Cathari do not need to die with honor. They need support with respect. Draven magistrate clicked sharply. Human delegate. Your proposal carries Castanawai, not dead than humanity will. Pay part of Ethot created a new wave of murmur. Seven. The humans behind her shifted, startled. Karian turned his head slightly, catching the brief flicker of surprise. Among his own people watching from the gallery, and YA spoke on, will share rehab protocols. Neuroplastic training, adaptive education models, will send specialists who know how to rebuild lives after lost. Severin Navigator's voice remained coolant. What do humans gain? Anyway's answer came instant. Lily's, who understand pursuits. Softened, just a little lind, because we refuse to accept a galaxy where the first answer to suffering is to erase the sufferers. Kran. His throat tightened again, but this time the ache was differented, was not shamite, was the dangerous beginning of. Hope and YA turned back to him. Kran, she said, using his name like it mattery diff. A Cathari cub came to you trembling, saying they were useless. What would you tell them? Kran. His claws flexed, his eyes stung, saw it in his mind, a cub with two big ears. And fear damp fur looking up for permission to keep living, heard his own old teachings. Buried beneath pride, I would tell them they still have value. He Sadie would tell them. Their life is not a Tulan YA, not a dead thing. Tell that to your people. Nowselance. Held the chamber. Draven magistrate glanced around, sensing the shift. Mindweavers flowed with new interest, if then the Severin looked. Less certain. Kararan straightened, his hands still trembled, his nerves still burned with the hush, but his voice grew steadier. Withdraw the petition for dignified closure. Corinne said the words sounded impossible, but they were real. Submit a petition for transformation support in YA. Exhaled once quiet lithe vote took time. I always did species argued, calculated. Bartered warned but, when the final tally flashed above the dais, it landed with a narrow margin in favor. Rue Provid Curran's ears rose, stunted as the chamber adjourned. Corinne found Anya near the exit corridor away from the cameras and the formal lychees. Voice was low-y. Did you do this? Saint-Waye looked down the corridor as if she could see history moving their becas. Humans have been told we were useless too. She saddened we survived out of spite. At first she glanced back at Himthan, out of love Iran. Swallowed it, if we fillet in YA's eyes stayed steady thin. We try again later. The same chamber hosted a briefing but. This time Corinne stood tall. His hands still trembled sometimes, but they moved with purpose now. On his chest was a new insignia. The sigil of the galactic signal and intelligence. Bjorbendt him stood a team of Cathari. Analysts, ears alert, eyes sharp there. Claws were not. Weapons and amorthi were pointers on glass. Screens their hunt had changed not ended. Kerari. Projected a map of encrypted financial routes. Found the ring he said it was hiding in a pattern no one else noticed said. Draven magistrate stared at the Datath. Mindweavers hummed with reluctant admiration. Severin navigator's eyes narrowed and pressed despite himself and across the chamber. Anya met Corinne's gaze care and did something Cathari leaders rarely did and publish smiled Bekos. He finally understood the most terrifying truth about humansit. It was not their weapons, it was not their ships, it was not even their stubborn. Courage was Thishumans did not worship what they wear thee. Worshipped what they could become, and once a human decided, you could become something better thee would fight the entire galaxy too. Prove it asterisk. Thanks for watching if you felt that. Moment hit subscribe right now. Neon Cub Tales. For more HFY. Stories like this video. So YouTube shows it to more people. Share it with a friend who loves sci-fi and humanity moments. Comment your favorite moment and tell me which line gave you chills. Your support keeps these stories coming. See you in the next one.